Welcome to Sal's Pizzeria, our story video. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt D'Arienzo, owner of Sal's Pizzeria, and we thought we'd make a short video, tell a little bit about Sal's Pizzeria, our story, kind of how it came about. I'm originally from New York, and I love pizza, and I also love business. And I've been a part of Sal's family. Sal's my father-in-law for about 20 years. I've been married in the family. And he'd make pizza for the family for years, and birthdays and occasions. And I always loved his pizza because I was always from New York and we live in California, and I just loved his pizza. But he would only make it for like birthdays and holidays, and so I wanted the pizza more. And so my idea was, hey, I love business and I love pizza. Maybe I can buy a pizzeria, make Sal's Pizza all the time, and then I could have it whenever I want. And so that was the genesis of it all. Just the fact that I love business and I love pizza. I love Sal's Pizza. I love Sal in general. And so we wanted to do something to share Sal's pizzas and recipes with the rest of the world. And so that's kind of how Sal's Pizzas came about. So what we did was I did lots of different businesses. And so I found an existing business that was an existing pizzeria. And the food was okay, but we thought we'd buy an existing pizzeria so it already had an established clientele, to hedge us a little bit, because I've never ran a pizzeria. I've ran a lot of other businesses before, but I needed to learn about how the pizzeria is run. And Sal has a lot of experience in that, but for me, I felt like buying an existing pizzeria would be better than starting it up from scratch. And so this was our first one that we bought, and so we figured we'd buy an existing one and then rebrand it, change the recipes, change the menus, change the name, and then we'll see what happens. And so it took about 6 months to fully get everything together and renovate the store, learn about the business, set up all the delivery, set up all the menus, do all the marketing, do all the advertising, and just put our story out there so people would learn about Sal's recipes and Sal's the way Sal makes food. The cool part about Sal is Sal's been doing distribution for about 50 years, I don't know, maybe 50 years. He's been an Italian food distributor. So he's the guy that sells the cheeses and the sauces to pizzerias. So the cool part about it is he has such knowledge behind the products. He knows what other pizzerias buys. He knows what's cheap. He knows what people do just for, to kind of get by. And he knows what the good quality stuff is. And he also owns a distribution business, so we get a better price. So we get to use better stuff at a lower price. So that was kind of the idea is, not only do we get great pizza, but we get Sal's knowledge of all the different products. And Sal has a really interesting background because he's from Sicily, was born in Sicily, came to America, I think when he was like 10 or 12. So we're gonna talk to Sal and get a little bit about his background. So.
Yep.
Nice.
I was 10 years old.
Okay, 10 years old. Okay, so let's start with in Sicily, right? You're born in Sicily, right? You grew up in town Alcamo, Sicily, right? And what was that like? Was it like was it a farm? Was it like
no, just a small city with, I don't know how much population it had, but the biggest cities was like Palermo, or Trapani. Okay. Those were the bigger cities.
Okay.
And
what did your dad do?
My father, when he was in his younger days, he used to make cheese. Okay. He used to make all different types of cheese, like Pecorino Romano, Provolone, Cascavallo, Ricotta, Mozzarella. So that's what he grew up doing with his father. Okay. Yeah.
So his father was a cheesemaker too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I was 7, 8 years old, I would always go with him wherever he went. Whether it was in different towns to make deliveries, or basically that's all I used to do. But in 1951, we moved back to. My mother was born in New York. She moved back to Italy when she was about 8 years old with my grandfather. And then when they got married,
she went back to Italy.
Yeah, she was born in Brooklyn, New York, and she moved back to Italy when she was like 8 or 9 years old. And when she got married after so many years, they decided to move back to America. So being that my mother was born in America, she didn't need
a visa or
all that stuff. Yeah. Right? So she came with my older brother, the guy on the left over there, and my older sister.
Over there, right? Okay.
Over there. Okay. So they came because they were born before 1941, before the war. But me, my younger brother, and my little sister, at the time she was only 1.5 years old, we couldn't come with my mother, so we had to remain in Italy until my mother got settled over here. Then she imported.
How long was that?
6 months.
Oh, 6
Yeah,
months.
She
Okay.
came in May, and then we came November 27th.
So going back to in Italy, so how old were you when your dad was delivering food? And like you told me,
7, 8, 9 years old.
and like you were like, was he like a horse and buggy?
Yeah, he should be delivered with horse and buggy.
And like what, the cart on the back with just like
but
stuff?
food in there, and I used to go when we used to. Well, he used to leave at midnight because it's not like a car or truck that you drive so many hours to get to anywhere. It took a long time, horse and buggy like that. So he would leave at midnight and be making his deliveries at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Take him 8 hours to get there on the horse and buggy?
Yeah, and I would sleep in the back underneath the canvas, you know. So.
The horse and buggy. And then would he make you like deliver the
Well, I didn't really do much. I was young, but I just liked going with him.
Yeah.
That's the way it was.
Yeah.
So when then we moved to America, and my father opened up manufacturing and making cheese.
So you just did the same thing in New York?
Yeah, and I was working there basically from 10 years old on. After school, I used to go there and work from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
Was it a store he had?
He had a deli front and a manufacturing area in the rear.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would work there.
Make the fresh mozzarella and all different types of cheeses?
Yeah, we got the mozzarella, pepato cheese.
And was it retail or we'd sell to businesses too?
We distribute to delis.
To delis.
Supermarkets.
Okay.
We had supermarkets like in Hempstead, Long Island, and one in Flushing that was our biggest customers.
Mm-hmm.
We used to make ricotta for Silver Star, raviolis.
Mm-hmm.
We used to make all that ricotta. And that was it. And then, what else?
And so you were at that, is when you came over, you were how old, 10?
I was 10.
All right, so from 10 to what, like 18?
So when I was 17, I always worked with my father.
Yeah.
But on the side, my older brother and I decided to start a distribution business because we didn't want to work. You know, making cheese is okay, but it's a dirty job. So we decided to start a distribution business.
With other products?
Yeah, with the tomatoes and pizza boxes and so on. Yeah.
And what year was that? That was like?
So I was 17, so 1958.
58?
Yeah.
Okay.
1958.
And that was the start of like, was that Kalika?
Kalika, no, my father was Kalika Dairy.
Your father's Kalika
He
Dairy.
started his corporation with
Got it.
Kalika Dairy. When my brother and I went into business, we called it Kalika Quality Foods.
Got it.
Yeah, so we.
And then basically you did it more than just cheese.
About 4 years or 5 years, we bought a warehouse in Long Island, and that's how we started really servicing the industry. And so we had customers all over the place from New York. We started out going to New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts. Then we started going south, and we got as far as Florida, as far as west as Indiana. So we had customers all over the place.
Selling everything?
Selling everything.
Not just cheese?
No, everything. Like cups, spices, paper products, all types of cheese, all types of tomatoes, all types of peppers, mushrooms, every that stuff.
Well, distributing?
Yeah, distributing, that's what we did.
And then you did that for?
And so 1983,
okay.
Then I decided to move to California, and my brothers remained over there, and I started, I couldn't call it Kalika Quality Foods in California simply because my uncle, the guy over here, which is my father's brother, he had a company in Downey, and the name was Kalika Dairy. So not to conflict people getting confused who's who and everything else, I started a company, the name was Pizzeria Dairy. And that's how we started.
In California?
Yeah, which was my son's name.
Why did you move to California?
The weather, basically. For the weather. And so we did that.
So you moved, basically just transferred and started a whole new business in California. But you had no like customers in California.
No, I had no customers at all. We didn't come to California. We didn't have no customers in California.
Right. So, but
my uncle was making ricotta.
But you started from scratch, basically.
Yeah, I started from scratch. Yeah. But my uncle, I used to get for him the Kalika Quality Foods tomatoes.
Okay.
A label on it. And he used to distribute that over here. So when I moved to California, I didn't want to conflict with him.
Right.
So I started a company called Pizzeria Dairy. But within about 7 or 8 years later, he passed away. And when he did, I decided to reopen Kalika Quality Foods in California.
Okay.
And I closed out Pizzeria Dairy because that was my original corporation. But that's what we did.
And that was the start of your distribution business in California. In California. And then you grew that quite a bit.
Yeah,
I mean, you had trucks, you had a bunch of trucks and
all over the place.
trailers going on.
Yeah.
And in general, give us a sense of the distribution business.
Well, by me being in that business, I know all the products. I know what's good.
Let's talk about the business first. What kind of business is it?
What do you mean kind of business?
It's a horrible business.
Oh, yeah.
Because he would tell me about the business.
Yeah, it's very competitive.
And it's like the margins are so thin. It's very competitive.
Right.
It's high volume, low margin. You know, guys come in, they steal your customers. You know, they run up bills, and then you're selling. They don't pay. You're selling to a pizzeria. They'll start buying products, and then they'll stop paying you, and they'll be like, oh nope, and they'll screw you for all this money, and they'll go buy it from somebody else.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the kind of business, distribution business.
Yeah, not a fun business.
No, not a good business.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. So now this is our new venture.
but the advantage is, right? I mean, you have all this knowledge of all these products.
I see all the different products, who makes what, and the pricing. So I know it all inside out. So I know what to use here.
Right.
Because that's where I like. That's my taste. Let's put it this way.
Right.
And that comes not only from my taste, but from seeing different pizzerias all over the country, New York, Connecticut, Florida, and all over, how they make pizza and what the ingredients are. And throughout the day, I will probably sample 2 whole pizzas by myself. A slice here and a slice there. And between where I like it, where people come in and say, hey Sal, try this, and I try it. So I eat all kinds of pizza all over the place. So I know the world tastes.
Yeah, and then going in your business, going to get customers, you would have to go visit pizzerias to try, hey, buy from me, and meanwhile you go and you go eat it every single day. You're going to get stops.
Right.
So let's talk about your pizza, because your pizza is like the pizza that I love, and like I'm New York, I'm a pizza snob. Like I don't eat any pizza other than your pizza in California, because that's just the way I was. And I didn't know what your style pizza was with the sauce on top, and I was like, what is this? What is this? Until I found out that it's it was kind of originated in Sicily.
Well, the thing is that my mother used to make pizza at home. My grandmother used to make pizza at home.
Okay.
And they always made it with the cheese at the bottom and the sauce on top. And then when I got to Brooklyn, New York, I found out from getting customers that a lot of people would make it the same way, and naturally I liked it, so that's why I went the same recipe.
Yeah. And that's essentially it's called the grandma pizza. We didn't know that was the name, and then one pizzeria branded it the grandma style, but that style's been used for years in Sicily.
My mother's always made it that way.
Right.
Yeah. She grew up. My mother was a great cook.
Yeah. I just love it because it's the sauce is just you get more of that sauce flavor on it.
Yeah, we don't use no pizza sauce, that super heavy pizza sauce that you water it down, and to make it, the more water you add to it, the more it's going to lose the flavor.
Right. So most pizzerias, they'll use pizza sauce, and they'll cut it with water.
Exactly.
Right, and that's how they get more, and it's less expensive.
Less expensive.
Right,
Yeah.
and so
but the flavor of the sauce is not there.
It's not as rich, right?
And then the fresh ingredients are not there either.
Right.
They insist on using the dry, like basil and things like that, where I like to use fresh.
And fresh, cut it fresh.
Flavor.
Yeah.
To me, dry spices have an aftertaste. And you could taste it in the pizza as you're eating it. So I go with the fresh stuff.
So we talked about like what type of food we want to sell, and we talked a lot about it. I'm like, Sal, let's just try and make the best pizza we can, like the best quality. Like, look, even if it's more expensive, we're buying it at a discount because so it's not. So we'll make it up on the other end. So that's the advantage we have.
Yeah.
We're not like we're not going to be a high volume type of place like a Domino's or a Pizza Hut or whatever it is. So so that's kind of all. That's our thing. It's kind of what we're doing. So it's been 6 months since we've had the pizzeria. I've learned a lot about how pizzerias run and the business, the aspect of it. It's a completely different business than all my other businesses. A lot of them, it's very fast moving, gets busy, gets slow, it's up and down, it's all different. And now and I didn't even know this, you said, oh wait a minute, I had a pizzeria.
I opened, me and my older brother bought 2 pizzerias in New York, one in Astoria, one in Brooklyn. The first one was only doing, I remember, It was $1,200 a week.
Okay.
The sales, but the pizza was also 15 cents a slice.
Okay.
Yeah.
15 cents.
Yeah, and a pound of cheese was 27 cents. You know, so
Right.
and gasoline was 17 cents also.
Right.
So it goes to show you,
Right.
$1,200 doesn't sound like a lot today,
Right.
but back then it was a good sale.
Right.
And then we had that one for quite a few years, and we bought another one in Astoria on 28th Avenue and 30th Street. That was a higher volume place. I don't know what the sales were, but I had reached like a neighborhood of 70.
Okay. But you've had it, and you had a restaurant once before.
Well, in California, I had a restaurant in Oceanside, OG Cucina.
But nothing was Sal's. It was all, you know.
OG Cucina Italiana. That was in Oceanside. I opened that up with a guy that I knew from when I was a kid. He went up to an Italian restaurant, but he was a great chef. This guy was one of those chefs on a cruise lines.
Yeah.
So he knew how to do everything: bacon, butcher. He knew it all.
Yeah. Oh, and tell one funny story too is he was in the Navy, right, or the Army? It was Army. Army.
Yeah. In the Army.
He was in the Army,
yeah.
And he's picky about food. Like I'm super picky about food. So he decides what position would he be, the best position to be in the Army. He's picky about food.
To my favor.
To his favor is I'll be the cook. Right. This way I can cook whatever I want, and so that's what he was.
So we used to have a day once a week. I mean, the Army has a set menu. So let's say on a Tuesday, on a day where they say it was roast beef night. You know what I'm saying? So we had to make the roast beef for everybody else. But for I was the first cook. I was a sergeant. I was in the first room. So I had about 8 guys under me. Plus I had the captain, the lieutenant. So when I used to cook, I used to cook for us. After we cooked for everybody else, I used to cook for us. So I would take the same roast beef because that's all I had, and I would convert that into cutlets. So naturally,
bread them, fry them.
I would bread them, fry them, with garlic, butter, and everything else. So my captain would say, "Hey, I'm gonna eat with you." So every night after we cooked for everybody else, we cooked for us.
Private dinner. That's great.
Private dinner.
All right.
I used to make pizza
right.
in the Army. We had a pizza night, not for the platoon, just for us.
Right.
Just for the cooks.
So it's been 6 months. You're kind of getting out of the distribution business. You're here most of the time, helping out, making stuff. Your son is running the distribution business now, right? Keep it going. And so give us just your thoughts on what it's been like the last 6 months running the pizzeria.
Well, it's been a challenge. What's great about it is that we have a great staff. We have all the guys that make pizza are excellent. They're really good. Yesterday I went to see a customer for my distribution business in Glendale. In fact, they strummed here in about 2 hours, and we were talking about how to make dough and all that stuff, and how different it is. Our guys are really good. Every one of them, they are really, really good. So
yeah. So Sal's basically training all of them how to make his style pizza, and it's actually phenomenal. I mean, I'm super picky. I'm the big pizza snob. So you know, we got all the cooks and everyone here, and you know, in every business and anyone that runs a business knows this. It's all about the people and the employees and the execution.
Yeah.
We could have the idea, but we can only do so much. And so 100% about the people, and we have 100% great staff, and so that's I think why we're gonna.
Most of these guys have been here from day one since the place opened years ago.
Yeah, they're a little shocked. They're like, "We're coming in, Sal's Pizza, totally different." They're like, "What?" You know. But I think they've all embraced it because it's something new, it's something different that we're bringing to Orange County that it doesn't exist. There's no really authentic style New York pizzeria.
Especially the brick on pizza.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about it.
No.
And that's how really it's made in Sicily.
Yeah.
You know, with the brick on, like that. And as a kid, 7, 8 years old, I remember going from my grandmother's house back to the house where I lived, and every night we would pass a tavern, and as you walk in front of this tavern, which was I guess it was like a bar, but they sold food also, but they would make pizza. And the smell of that breadcrumb pizza as you walked in front of the door, it was like, and memories that you never forget.
That's great.
And that's what I like about our pizza.
That's great. Cool. Well, guys, thanks for listening. Hope you come to Sal's. Meet Sal. He's here. If he's not here, we have a cardboard cutout. You can take a selfie with Sal. We got a good write-up in OC Register. We just won the Taste of Lake Forest, which is good. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening here at Sal. So come by for a slice. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you.